Thank you for tuning in to Uncommon Women, a podcast that provides a platform for women of all walks of life to share their upbringings, life lessons learned, experiences, and journeys to come. Uncommon Women speaks on topics that can relate to all women. We share, we listen, we laugh, we cry, and we empower each other to be the best uncommon woman that they can be. Ultimately, we are cultivating a global movement of women supporting women. Women supporting entrepreneurship, relationships, self-love, and so much more. We inspire each other to make an impact on this world for the better. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to Uncommon Women. Now, finally, grab a seat, get comfortable, and hear from your wonderful hosts, Shanira and Jenny Lee. Thank you, kings and queens, for tuning in to Uncommon Women. I'm Shanira.
And I'm Jenny Lee.
And today we have an amazing guest speaker, Toccara Nicole. She's going to come on in just a moment. Life coach, book author, motivational speaker, anything that you need out there that's a women empowerment, she's all about that. And she's so down to earth. So I'm super excited about today's testimony. She'll be giving us a testimony today, and then she'll also be, talking about in regards to what she does for women of all ages. So before we get into her testimony, I would like to let you know a little bit about her. As the founder of Toccara Nicole Identity and Life Coaching, Toccara Nicole is dedicated to assisting young adults, millennial and generational X women to discover what's in their vault, to unlock their personal and marketplace identity by using powerful insights, discernments, and sensitivities. As an identity strategist, she is passionate about helping others discover their gifts to monetize their genius. We have one life to live, and she pours our wisdom and strategies to serve those she loves. So thank you so much, Toccara, for coming on today with us today. We are super excited.
Hey. Listen here, I am so elated to be here and thankful for the opportunity to share with whoever I can. And one thing I've learned about this journey called life, be an open book, because you never know who needs the writing on your page of whatever chapter you're in or have been in. And so some people say I talk too much, but you know what? Somebody got to talk about these things, because other folks ain't saying a word. Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
I definitely agree. And you don't talk too much, because that's what we about. We talk.
Right? Yes.
So before we get into the good things of what you do for helping others, can you tell us a little bit about your life and how was it growing up?
Woo! All right. Yeah, 60 minutes. I don't know. No. So I grew up in what we call Chicagoland.
Okay.
And I grew up in a city called Frankfort, Illinois. So what I call Frankfort to me was definitely eye-opening. So graduating from a high school where I never experienced being educated by a Black teacher. I never experienced that until it was time for me to go to college. So out of 1,057 kids, maybe 5 to 6 of us were Black.
Wow.
5 to 6 out of 1,057. Let that marinate, okay? Right. It's like 0.00001% or something like that, right? So growing up, I had an amazing childhood, even though my father was not in my life. Okay, so I am the 4th out of 22 kids. My mother's only let that marinate. 4 out of 22 children. So I was very embarrassed by that for a long time. And I had to understand that, heck, that ain't my problem, but it wasn't until later where I was able to relate to that. And so there were a lot of different things that were going on in my household. I was raised with my mother being present, and then my grandparents, whose who were like grandparents and parents. And then my uncle was in the home from time to time. And so I had an amazing support system with my neighbors. My neighbors were very supportive. I had my babysitter who was, she was white. Her husband was Italian. Her and her husband took me in like I was their own. I saw a lot of family values in their home that I didn't see in my home. What it looks like to have dinner together at 5:30 every night. How was your day? How was your day?
Communicating, right?
Yeah.
That I was like, man, how is it we only do this around Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter? They do this every day, so these are some of the things that I took in being in the environment. You see a lot, and we don't know what that does to us until later on within our lives. So we're soaking all these things in, and we think that we have a clear understanding of what it is until we actually mature as an adult and start doing things on our own, and we start going back to the foundations, those pillars within our childhood.
Yeah.
I grew up in a white neighborhood, literally. Jamaicans don't consider themselves as Black, but we had a Jamaican family on the block, and then there was us. Okay. My next door neighbors were members of the KKK.
Wow.
Let them marinate. So as a young girl, being harassed by my next door neighbors, being called a porch monkey, being called the N-word, being placed on my bike, but then I had my neighbors next door where I swam in their pool almost every day in the summer. And, they took care of me when my mom had to work overtime, or, having those family values, but then having that snake in the grass, that, weed in the garden, and really trying to maneuver life as 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, really trying to figure out what's wrong with me.
Right.
Why do they want to harass my family? And so we end up having to put cameras on our house. We had to put up a privacy fence because it just became obsessive. And so we sued them. They had to literally pay us $375,000 a move. And they moved. And, I don't talk about that a lot because I forget about it sometimes. But it shaped my mind on how I treat people. And some African Americans hate what I'm getting ready to say. Sorry, that's on you. I don't see color. And what I mean by me is what I mean by not sure what happened. Okay, there we go. What I mean by that is I do see color, but I don't treat people based on their color. And I can't hear you. And so people don't like when I say that, especially African American people don't like when I use that terminology. What you mean you don't see color? They done did this to us and this. I was like, I choose not to operate like that.
You operate out of love.
I do. I'm a very loving, nurturing person. What you see is what you get with me. I am very consistent. Some people think that I'm on drugs because I literally have energy all the time. They're like, what do you want? Can I have some?
I need some.
What I tell people is when you continue to do the work on you, it's a natural high.
Yes.
And you think this is crazy. Let me be sleepy. It goes to a whole nother level. But I'm an open book for a reason. There's too many people out here that are living such a sheltered life. People need to understand that you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. And even if you've gone through this, you can be that. You are not what you go through.
Come on.
So Don't stop defining yourself as that. Stop limiting yourself as that. Stop allowing people to put their weight and their expectations on you. So now you've taken on this extra and you're wondering why you're so heavy and you're trying to break through barriers and you can't because you got other people's stuff on you that don't even belong to you.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
And so for me, my childhood was amazing with the exception of my dad not being around. And when I turned 13, my mom decided to move to Chicago with her husband, my stepdad. And that crushed me. But it made me all in the same. And it allowed for my grandma and I to develop a stronger relationship. So what I mean by it crushed me, and this is why words are really important. I really feel like I have to give that disclaimer before I share the next part of this. I felt like I was abandoned. I felt like I was rejected by my mom because she left me to be raised with my grandparents for my teenage years and not understanding that what I thought was rejection and abandonment was love and protection.
So you had a little resentment towards that, yeah.
Yeah, and really still at the tender, beautiful, young age of 39, still having to work through that. And so we have to remember the power of words and the definition of words and being very mindful of how we apply them to our own lives, because what happens is that we will create a formula, get an answer, and the formula is not even meant for us to digest.
Yes, it's our perspective. And it's like, it's not even like that.
From the rooter to the tutor, trying to really navigate and getting this stuff. I know, let me get that off me and let me get that off me. And it's a lot. It's a lot. And then that's why you have to be mindful of environment as well. And that's why you have to know who you are. And that's why I call myself the identity architect. We'll talk about that later. But you have to be mindful of all that. So growing up for me without my father was tough because I was around families, you know. So even if I wasn't, if I didn't see mom and dad in a home, they co-parented. I didn't have that. My daddy was somewhere in somebody's penitentiary. You know, all I got was the cute cards that, you know, were handwritten for my birthday, or the letters, or sometimes the money orders with, you know, $50. I'm like, what am I going to do with that? Or, you know, it's all these different emotions around that. So then my stepfather, who's been around my whole life, my mom was very strategic on how she introduced him to my life. So what I saw was my mom chose him over me was my mom protecting me from having this man really come in and really take charge, because she wanted to do it in a way that was indecent and in order. So all these different things that we're seeing, you know, they plant seeds.
Yes.
And sometimes we don't realize that what's meant to be a flower in our eyes is a weed. So now I understand that, you know, and my dad is incarcerated for life. Let me make sure that's very clear now. So I've taken the step out of my stepdad.
Okay.
Because the only thing that he did was step in.
Come on.
From the age of 3, I'm 39. So this man's been around for 36 plus years. Didn't have to, you know. And I remember anything that I wanted, he made sure that I had.
He chose to, though.
He chose to be there. And when I tell you, when I'm doing, you know, when I have accomplishments, I sometimes I don't tell him because he's gonna cry. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to cry today. Like, I'm good. But he's just so proud of the woman I've become. So a lot of what I do now is based on my childhood. And so growing up in a predominantly white neighborhood, I was teased by my family in the South. You talk funny. You think you all that and 5 bags of chips with some hot sauce on it. You know, we say drink, you say pop.
You so proper.
Or the one that I love and still don't understand is you talk white. What does that mean? You know, or you're rich, because we lived in a predominantly white neighborhood. So, you know, having to dismantle some of the hurt and shame that they placed on me, it's still a challenge. And so, you know, our childhoods, a lot of people fail to realize, to understand that that's the molding and shaping process.
The foundation.
That's that foundation. And I used to work in student housing, and I used to develop student housing development. And one of the things that I learned is that we have to wait until it's 32 degrees in order to pour concrete to make the foundation. And if the temperature ain't right, guess what? The foundation gonna have a whole bunch of cracks in it, have a whole bunch of holes on it, and you can't build anything when it ain't level.
Nope.
I'll let that simmer for somebody. So really just understanding the power of who you are. I did that at an early age. Manifesting. Let's talk about that. I did that at an early age and didn't even know what the heck I was doing. I would speak out to the universe and would talk about the life that I wanted to create as a little girl, not realizing what I was doing. And I'll share a little more about that in a few when it comes to just the business aspects of things. So one of the things that I realized with childhood is that environment is so key. Words are key. Language is key. Actions are key.
Yep.
And, you know, now that I can go back and do some of the hard work, meaning, why do I do that? Why do I act like that? Where did that right there come from? Because it's ugly and it stinks. Where'd that come from? And really being able to be challenged to do that work. So my testimony is one that I used to be ashamed of. I hated my name. Hated my name. All right. So when I say hated my name, do you hear me? I was like, Mom, I'm changing my name when I turn 18. I don't give a what you do. I was like, okay. Changing it when I was 18. Went off to college and people fell in love with my name.
That was me.
People fell in love with it, and then I learned the meaning of it, and it means treasure. It means protected by God. It means sensitive, and that's all who I am.
It's you.
It's me.
It's you.
It sure is.
You know, and I'm like, whoa. And you know, so even just really being mindful of our names, the meaning of them, and what we put a name on. Someone needs to hear that. What we put a name on. And so, you know, my childhood really made me think about that. And so, like I said, overall, my childhood was pretty great, you know, but the absence of my father, it led me down a road that I wasn't proud of, you know. Sleeping with married men, loving the attention from a married man. Didn't know where that came from. Had no clue until I started to do the work. Well, heck, I knew Papa was a Rolling Stone. Where he laid a hat was a baby. So I knew that there was some kind of something going on that end. The more I really started looking into other areas of my life and started seeing patterns within my family bloodline, I said, whoa, it's on both sides. So, yeah, I know why I fight the way I fight now. So when you know better, you do better. And so I had to make myself do some of the things that were really hard. And, you know, I don't have any kids, nor do I desire to have any kids. Now, you know, some people argue with me on that. You can take it up with God. Okay. I have a motherly like spirit,
Mm.
but I choose not to be a mom. One of the reasons why I don't want none of these curses to go in the listen. It stops and ends with me. If I can help it by not even having kids, I ain't gotta worry about it being transferred.
Break the cycle. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Stops and ends with me. I'm good with that. But really understanding that you have to do the work to break some of these cycles. When I say I notice these patterns, and guess what? I'm nowhere near perfect, and I will never be perfect. But let me tell you one thing about me. When I realize it, or have people in my life be like, especially my significant other, he's amazing, and he'd be like, "Babe, why do you do this?" I'm like, "I don't know." And so, like, I really do that. And I'm like, "Well, tell me more about what I do." And so he tells me, I'm like, "For real?" He was like, "Yeah, and this is how you do it." And so when he gives me all of that, I sit with myself, and one of the things that I say all the time is like, "God, show me the root of this.
Yes.
Where did this come from?" And one of the things, I can be really hard on people, which makes me a doggone good coach.
But where are you getting it from?
My mom.
No.
Love you, mama.
We love you, Mom.
Right. You the rock, girl. You produce this amazing seed. But with the Lord and my daddy. But yeah, my mom was hard on me, and it wasn't. She didn't mean to be hard.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted what was good.
Yeah.
But it came across. And
Right.
so I sometimes do that with other people based on what I was exposed to. Which, like I said, makes me a really great coach.
Yeah. You're passionate.
I'm very passionate. Right? But sometimes my friends can be like, ooh, and I guess that's one of the reasons why my mom and my grandma says you ain't supposed to have no more friends than you have fingers. Yeah, I get it now. But one of the things that I love is that about me is that even though when it hurts, I gotta get to the root of it. I don't want to stink no more. If I want to smell, I want it to be a beautiful fragrance, because Toccara Nicole is a beautiful fragrance, because Toccara is an Avon perfume where my mama got my name from. So I gotta do the work to smell good, not for anybody else, but for my own self.
Right.
And so we have to be willing to really work through those barriers and learn how to build bridges so we can cross into the areas that we've been created to cross into, because we are our own barrier.
Right.
If we allow ourselves to do that, and then what we do is we blame. Well, this is what happened to me in my childhood. So, and this is what happened to me in this relationship. This is what happened to me in that relationship. Now we become one of those bags that Erykah Badu talks about in Bag Lady. Carrying around that stuff that stank, expired, slowing us down, making us sluggish. And so I can go on and on and on about, my testimony. But the one thing is I'm a survivor. I'm a domestic violence survivor. My ex-boyfriend literally tried to kill me. I am a suicide. I tried to commit suicide twice. I'm still here. Tried to hang myself because of the pain that my ex-boyfriend that abused me was putting me through, so I have a message of the reason why God has me here. And pain does turn into purpose. And people need to understand that. It does. And it doesn't feel like it at times. And one of the most painful situations that happened to me, it'd be 2 years, I lost my grandfather, who was like my father. He was the one who put all the toys together for me. made me look, you know, and when I was 10, he told me, "There's no Santa Claus. I'm your Santa Claus." Well, dang, bro. We wait till your butt go to sleep, and then we come out and do all this stuff.
We kept it real.
So let's just say Christmas after 10 was different for me. But I keep
what you want for Christmas.
right. I keep his legacy in my mind, but on my desk. So every day I see him, I feel his energy. And so, you know, it was a painful situation, but he brought me so much joy. He made me feel loved and appreciated. He would do anything for me. So, you know, that pain of him no longer being here, I've taken it and continue to build and help others build. And, you know, so overall, you know, God is amazing. I have an amazing support system. When I say amazing, I mean amazing support system. My family can get on my nerves from time to time. I love y'all because I know y'all watch and support what I do. I appreciate y'all. Just like I get on y'all nerves too. That's family. But the one thing I can say about them is that they got my back. They support. And so, you know, they were upset when they found out that I was abused because I didn't tell them. I wrote it in the book.
Oh.
Y'all, I wasn't expecting them to read the book.
Oh, they gonna read the book. That's when they is gonna read something when you write.
But I didn't expect them to read it. I just got there and they're like, "Oh my God, you got a book! You know, we want to support." That, you know, having Zoom call meetings. Did y'all see page 87? Turn to the fourth paragraph. Did you see that this? So who's going to address her? Who's going to ask her about this? Wow, paper, scissors, rock. You know, I guess it's going to be it. I wasn't expecting that. I was not. And, I laugh about it now, but I cried because there was a point where, you know, it hurt me so bad that they were mad because I didn't share that part of the abuse and the hurt. And it was a co-author book project, and I called it The Sea of Black and Blue, a chapter of, you know, that I wrote about and just was talking about, you know, being abused. I would have known if I would have shared too early, it would have messed up my testimony.
Yeah.
You know,
it's about timing, definitely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Always.
And so
Always.
that's caused me to be the open book, you guys. That's the identity coach. That's the life strategist. You know, that's just Toccara Nicole, period. And so I pray that something I've said has encouraged somebody to really simply own who you are, good, bad, ugly, indifferent. Your DNA, your heartbeat, who you are is needed. You're needed. People can't move until you move.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to realize that, you know, so be okay with who you are. Yeah, you went through this, you went through that, because there's some stuff that I haven't talked about yet, haven't shared with my family yet. Getting ready to, you know, when I turn 40, it's on empowerment. I told my mama, I said, I told her this years ago. Now if she remembers, I don't know. I said, Mom, when I turn 40, I'll tell you some of the dirt I did that you didn't know that I did. I was like, at that
a heart attack. Don't do that.
I was like, at that, look, I'm thinking from my own perspective. At that point, she can't whoop me. You know what I'm saying? You know, so she can't chase me around as, you know, as quick as she used to be able to when I was around. So I kind of got an advantage there, you know. So, but, you know, I will say this: your testimony is important. That's why I have the publishing company, having people to really share their stories, because that's how we grow as individuals. This platforms like this, thank you guys for what you guys do for women. Women need to know that they're not alone in what they've gone through. Stop isolating yourself, sis. There's no need to.
Come on.
There's a community of people who need to hear what you've gone through, just like you need to hear what they've gone through. The testimony is a part of the testing process within your life. That's all it is. So take all your stories and, you know, help other people. And it was a challenge for me to do that. And I'll say this, and then I'll digress. 2012 was the year that my identity was made known to me. The year I turned 30. I was coming home from church, watch night service, hit a man on a bike, and he died.
Wow.
When I got out the car after I hit him, he was coming in the wrong direction on a bike, like a bicycle. I didn't think to call 911. You know what I did? I ran over to him and started praying. The car in back of me called 911. The police treated me like I was a criminal.
Wow.
I had to sit in the back of the cop car. Y'all don't want to sit in the back of a cop car. It's hard, plastically, it's horrible. It's a horrible experience. But I remember them coming over to me and saying, "Ma'am, it doesn't look good. Will you go to the hospital with us?" Absolutely. Will you, go ahead and give us a urine sample, give us a blood sample just to show that you were intoxicated?
Right.
Absolutely. Freaking out at this moment. The cop was like, "It's an accident, Toccara." It was an accident. As we're going through this in the triage, the man's mom walks past and they take her to the room where the chaplain is. Right.
Wow.
I'm seeing all this. Till they took me back to the other triage room. They're like, "Toccara, you're not in trouble." I go home. Let me tell you, I went to church the next day as if nothing happened. Continued to praise God. It wasn't until the next day when I found out this man was dead. When I tell you a numbness, feeling alone, confused, it was tough. And the moment where I found out, God released angels, right hand to God. God released angels. One person was knocking at my door. They had just found out by reading, or somebody had called them. I don't remember what it was, that had happened. And now I'm a hot mess. That was the way I turned 30. Then what had happened was the next month, my dad was incarcerated for life. 2 months after that, I lost my job.
Wow.
Not just no rinky-dink job. I was making over $70,000 plus, gone. And what I realized is that I allowed things, accolades, positions to make me
dictate who you are.
Yep.
Everything's stripped. Oh, all right, Toccara, you naked now. Who are you? Figure it out.
Way.
No.
Became suicidal again. Depressed. That was the year I turned to modeling. Now think about this. I want y'all to marinate on this. Modeling makes you do what? There's a posture about you. You have to lift your head up. So literally, God was utilizing the avenue of modeling to start my rebuilding.
New foundation.
My confidence in me. When I tell you, people are like, "You should model." I've heard it for so long, but that was the year I leaped into it. Signed up with a modeling agency. Had my comp card. My picture was in Times Square for a Dove ad. You name it. Things started happening right back after back. It was just consistent. So what I tell people all the time is that you don't know how things are going to work for your good. You don't know. But you have to stay consistent and be in the game. And so that's why I can firmly call myself the identity architect and coach, because those things help build me to understand my power, my work. That was the year I started speaking. I spoke at the University of Illinois at a conference. They came back 6 years straight, year after year after year. Come back, come back, come back, come back. I'm like, God, what are you doing? He was building me to be able to facilitate different conversations, live streams, whatever have be, to help people to understand the power of sharing who they are, whose they are, and to understand that knowing who you are is a game changer. Don't allow what you've been through to stop you. It's just a part of it. I can be sad and depressed that I'm the 4th out of 22 kids and don't know half of them, but I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the ones that I do know that I met off of Facebook. Facebook, y'all. Facebook. That's how I met some of my siblings. Facebook.
Wow.
So you never know, y'all. You never know. So, you know, allow for your testimony to not only build you as an individual, but to build others. So.
I agree. There is something that you touched on that I see a lot that's happening now in society, and I wanted us to have a little dissect a little bit on it. And it's women sleeping with married men, or being side chicks, or whatever the case may be. How did you not only break the cycle but stop, without breaking yourself? But how did you get past that time in your life?
I got tired.
Yeah, you got tired.
When I tell you I got tired, I got tired.
Mm-hmm.
I got tired of being a side chick. I got tired of I want more. I deserve more. What is really going on? Why am I allowing myself to be intimate? Because I was about to use a whole nother language.
Thank you, God.
Intimate with these cats for, and then we do what we do, then they go home.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What about me? What about my needs? What about my wants? And then don't let them be the type got a whole wife and you do what you do, and then you talking about, well, I'm out doing it. Well, what do you mean? You going out with who? Hold on, fam. You got a whole ring. You got a whole family. What you mean? I can't go out to the whatever with sex without you being some. Hold on. What do you mean?
That's how it is. That's how it is.
I'm confused.
It doesn't make sense. It's just how it is. Yeah.
I'm confused. I'm not confused. I'm confused.
Girl, believe me, I know. I've been there. I know.
And I got tired of it. I got tired of smelling me.
Mm-hmm.
If I could be all the way, I got tired. And I'm like, you know what? They ain't trying to give me what I need. But guess what? I didn't know what I needed. I didn't know what I wanted. I wasn't clear. So I accepted the red raggedy carpet that they would lay on before me. Like, here you go with the mud stains coming up to my door. I would accept anything because I just wanted this. I just wanted that. I wanted pieces. I didn't want wholeness.
Yes. There we go.
I wanted pieces. And so when I've seen it all around me, it was okay. I accepted it. It was normal. Now, just because it was normal because it was around me didn't mean I had to make it my normal. But I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
So, women need to understand and be very clear what you want. Because when I got tired of being sick and tired, the black book, the blue book, the green book, the red book, the yellow book, they all went away. Gone, And now I'm in a relationship with an amazing guy who loves me for me. I love him for him. And we eat each other's full course meals.
Yes.
Yeah, girl, yes.
No side piecing allowed.
Yes.
The whole entree.
The whole entree. And I ain't talking about no Perkins type of meal either, right? So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
you gotta get tired of being tired.
Yep.
And that's a decision. And when you really look up the definition of decision, that's a whole nother life for a whole nother day.
Yeah.
You got to make up your mind to say, you know what, I am worth more.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
And break the cycle.
Girl.
Break the cycle.
Yes.
Somebody got to do it. You know, but it wasn't easy because I loved what they gave me. Even if it was temporary, I enjoyed it. So now it's like, it stank. Don't even, I can smell it when women are in these situations and they want to, no, you side piece, boo boo. Because my antennas go up. You know, so no, and we try to cover it up and make it look cute. And Mac, Lancome, Bobby Brown, Chanel, nothing can cover that up to a woman who's been through that.
Right, you know,
the language, the body language, all that. Sis, you're better than that.
Yeah,
you know. So I'm glad. It's a topic that folks don't want to talk about.
It got to be talked about. That's why Uncommon Women is here.
I'm for it. All day exactly. Okay. I'm for it. We got to get our healing. We can't be around broken. That ain't gonna help nobody.
No, it's not.
So
it's compromising. It's just you're compromising yourself. You're compromising your future, and then if you have children, you're compromising what you're going to allow to happen to them as well.
And you're showing everybody it's okay to do.
Yep.
It's acceptable.
It is. It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Yes. I want to go back into your book. What inspired you to write?
Wow. So, I was spoiled by being an only child, right? And my mom would take away my TV, radio, and phone privileges at the age of 7. And so when she would do that, guess what I would do? I'd go write.
Okay.
I'd go write, or I would go. There was a place in my grandparents' room that overlooked our backyard. And so there'd be times where I would sit in the windowsill and just speak out to the universe and would talk about the things that I wanted and the stories that I would make up. And I would, make up all these things as a little girl. So I've always been creative.
Okay.
So even as a young girl, I would write poetry and short stories. And my teachers would be so amazed by what it is that I do. So I've been writing for a very long time. So yeah, and it's very therapeutic to me.
That's amazing.
That's awesome. So how is your relationship now with your rock, your mother?
So my mom is super supportive. Even when she doesn't fully understand what her child does.
Because you do a lot. That's okay.
I do a lot.
Okay.
And she's like, I can't keep up with you. And it used to offend me that she didn't want to try to understand what it is that I did. But what I realized is that from her perspective, the way that I move is uncommon to her. Yeah, So when I made the decision to start the business, she was like, you have a good government job. Why do you want to do that? I'm like, why would you send my tail to college for me to, do what I'm doing? And, she kind of was like, ooh, kind of figured it out. But one of the things I can say is that the older I get, the better my relationship gets with my mom. And as long as Mom, I love you. I'm telling the truth when I say this. As long as we're in the same group, we're good. we good, you know. My mom is one that I've had to tell some of my truth to about how I felt about different things. And she's been a trooper about it, you know. So I'm thankful that I have a support system that really values who I am and what I do.
That's awesome. Can you express for young girls or women who's ashamed of their past, can you add anything or any advice to them?
Yeesh. Your truth is your truth. No one can define how you feel, what you think, and what you believe. Your truth is your truth. And don't spend time and energy trying to explain and pull people into your world who may never have the mental capacity to understand who you are, why you move the way you move, and what you do, and why you stand for these things.
Come on.
And that can be challenging because the people that you want to support you the most aren't the ones supporting you.
Oh, now that was
that's a whole lot drop. You know, a whole lot drop. And I was sharing with somebody, I said, you know what? I meet phenomenal people all over this world that support me more than the people that I've been rocking with.
I can agree.
And when it first started happening, I would cry my eyes out. I didn't understand why. And then, you know, people will be like, you doing that, and then now you're doing this, and then you got this going on. And I use an annoying voice because they're annoying when they come to me acting like that. That's how I hear it in my ears. It's either that or womp, Charlie Brown's teacher. Because I have to put a blocker up before that noise penetrates and enters into my mind, body, soul, and now I'm picking up stuff. And I was running, and then all of a sudden I hear somebody, and I'm like, well, and then I start slowing down because of what somebody else said. No, I'm tired of that. A chick will be 40 in January. I ain't got time. I want to roll on this train. Deuces. I'm cool now. Now there'd be a time, oh, well, what do I need to do for us to do? No, over. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. No, I'm done. You know, and that takes, and don't you dare land on my reading railroad either.
But you got to get to that point, though. In order to know who you are, you got to get to that point because it's like you can't be staggered. You can't stay in that position where they want you to be.
No.
What they choose to do is their business. But if you know in your heart this is what you want to do, you got to keep moving. And it's respectfully.
It's respectfully. And you know, one of the things that made it easier for me to move the way that I move, I changed my circle.
Yep. That's that. I say that all the time. Yep.
I didn't know.
Preach it.
And now I'm moving with people. And when I just realized that I had to cut somebody go. Well, they disconnected themselves, and that's cool. But see, my thing is, I love so hard. Even when people take their own rope and hang themselves, I still feel some kind of way.
Yeah.
Because my love language is servitude.
Yep.
And being genuine and being loyal.
Right.
So, you know, it takes a little time for me to be like, you know what, this is whatever, I don't care, you know. Because I say I don't care, but
you care.
Yeah, you care.
That's who I am.
That's part of you. Right. Right.
Look, and you be like, God, can you take this credit away? Because it hurts so much for people. They don't care about me. Like you be praying these prayers, and God be standing there looking like, for real.
Is you done yet?
When you finish, I will speak. But it's real. So it's so real. But
so real.
I'm thankful. So yeah, and like I said, I'm an open book. Ask questions. I've been a part of some crazy things that I've positioned myself to be a part of, based on brokenness, based on and it's, I'm not shameful to tell what I've been through.
No, you shouldn't.
It's not my name anymore. It used to be Toccara Nicole Shameful Steal. Nah, we went to the courthouse and had that removed.
So let's get on the good things. Speak on your business and what you do and how you help others and how we can help you.
And look, I never thought that I'd be a coach. Never. So when I tell people, y'all ready? I always wanted to be a lawyer and eventually a judge.
Well, I can see you being a lawyer though.
I
can see you talking. I can see you being a lawyer, defending somebody. Like, no.
Objection. Yes. And what I realized was that wasn't it. When I went off to college and I changed my major so many times, 4 to be exact, went to a community college. You're supposed to do 2 years at a community college, y'all. I did 4. I didn't know. I'm most grateful and thankful for, being open to the direction of God, being obedient to what he tells you to do. And I get why I'm a coach. I understand why I'm a business strategist or just a strategist. I've been building since I was a little girl.
Right.
Whether it be putting something together without instructions or whatever that would be. So it's in my DNA. It's who I am. And so with my business, I call myself the identity architect as I serve millennial and Generation X women to discover not only their personal identity, but also their marketplace identity. And breaking those barriers within your personal identity so you're not taking that baggage over as an entrepreneur. Somebody takes your business card at a meet and greet. Hey, the wink and the gun, as Carlton Banks would say, and I'm going to call you on Monday. And 5 Mondays goes past and you don't hear from me.
Follow it.
So rejection, abandonment, all these things start rising up because of what you've been through. And if you're not careful, you will bring that into your business. So understanding who you are on a personal level, building people up on a marketplace level, meaning just from a business perspective. And so I also am the mapping strategist. I help people map their concepts out so they can run. So write the vision, make it plain, so they can be clear, so they can be effective, so that, so they can be that change agent within their community, within their business, for themselves. And so, it's been something I've been doing for a long time and didn't know that it was a business. Didn't know. Never connected the dots.
That's awesome.
So, that's why I say all of these stories that I'm sharing with y'all tonight, they built and molded this identity architect of who I am and continue to be.
Yes.
So, there you have to be very intentional within your business and understanding that don't take on something that don't belong to you, because that's when the struggle comes in. Be authentic. And so I love what I do. VOS Consulting and Publishing, that's my baby. Started off as a consulting company in 2017. God told me to merge it as a consulting and publishing company. I'm like, God, I ain't never heard of that. Like, what are you doing? He's like, well, you trust me?
You started.
Can you just leap? And so, and so now I help entrepreneurs and coaches and consultants and helping them to monetize their genius by publishing a book, maybe a non-fictional work, a workbook, a planner, a journal, a coloring book, whatever that work is, and helping them to build beyond that book, whether they're a business owner, they need an ebook, they need a landing page, they need lead magnets, whatever that is, to help them to monetize their genius. That's what we do. And, you know, it started back when I would be on punishment and I would write.
Look at this.
I know.
Okay. Nobody can tell me God is not intentional, because he indeed is.
Yeah, he sure is.
And there's so much more that is evolving. I have tonight at 8 p.m. It's called ADDCT net. Hold on, ADDCT TV. So it is a network on Roku, you name it. I have my TV show coming out called What's the Deal with Toccara Nicole. It's a 30-minute TV show. Me just being honest, and .org. Yep, being honest. Yep, being honest with these people out here in the streets about life. So it comes on every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, and it's that hump. It's that Wednesday hump day, motivation, energy, you know, whatever, you know, you've gone through the week, it's Wednesday, you need something to carry you over. What's the real deal with Toccara Nicole is going to be just that. And dreams do come true. And let me tell you, ADDCT TV stands for American Dreams Do Come True. Now, I'll this, and then I'm going to drop the mic. When I was a little girl and I was making my lunch for class or for school that the following day or the night before, and nobody ever caught me all these years that I was doing this. So my family about to find out a big, huge thing. Huge. I'd pretend like I had my own cooking show, TV show. I would count down the cameras that were imaginary, doing the whole cut, everything. And I'd be frying up my bologna sandwich or grilled cheese and wrapping it all up and stirring, and TV show. Okay? Here we are. TV show. So I'm telling you, manifestation works if you work.
That just gave me chills. That's all.
And if I told you how it found me, I wasn't looking for the opportunity. I got it on a piece of paper saying my TV show that I've been wanting for years.
Wow.
Beyond me writing it on a piece of paper, beyond me acting like I had my own cooking show when I was a little kid. And I want to share that to inspire somebody. Don't give up on you. It's going to come when it's time. Ecclesiastes 3 tells you about seasons and timing.
Come on.
Trust and wait in the Lord. And don't be anxious for a thing, because when it's your time and your turn, nobody can take it away.
Amen.
Yes, amen.
Nobody. Nobody. In my Keith Swift voice. Nobody, baby. Nobody. Nobody. So, you guys, yeah, this is me all day long.
I love it. I just had the visual of the nobody. I'm sorry. Hey,
I could have went there with all the no's. You know he did, but I didn't do that. So I just gave you the short version. Yeah, you know, I thank y'all for a platform like this to be able to share and be real and transparent.
Yes.
And you know,
that's what we're all about. Thank you for coming on.
Absolutely. Even through my quirkiness and my jokes,
that's us. That's
somebody getting something from us sharing and dialoguing, and so mission complete. That's the way I look at it.
It is.
You know, successful show, another one underneath the belt. And I want to thank you guys, because I know for a fact doing this comes with challenges. And we making it so beautiful. And the work that you two do behind the scenes is so needed. Uncommon women. That alone speaks volumes. When you get to a place on where you're at in life, people look at you as you are not common at all? What did you do to get here? How?
Don't let me cry.
Right.
Let me cry tonight. Let me smile.
Look, you be like, 1 + 2 = 5. Hold on. No. It really does. So I just want to thank you guys for what you guys do week after week after week. However, many times that you guys come together, talk and plan, strategize. It's needed. So thank you. I appreciate you guys having me.
Thank you.
Oh, we appreciate you coming on. I love your energy. I love your testimony. And you're just a beautiful soul. Even when you were on the seminar, and I love that how we just clicked right away. We didn't really know each other, but I just love your energy.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you. I appreciate you guys so much.
Thank you. But we have a question we ask our guest speakers.
Oh,
what makes you uncommon?
Wow. Whoa. What makes me uncommon? I would say my name makes me uncommon, for sure, because I was always looking to fit in, and my name forces me to stand out.
That's good.
Forces me to stand out. So, being that one that's not afraid to stand out and be different. That could be uncommon as a woman. We, I can be uncommon. I'm okay with it.
Thank you so much for coming on and just sharing your testimony, and just I pray someone just takes heed to what you had to say this evening, and thank you again. Well, everyone, if you have any potential speakers or any potential speakers, any topics, anyways. So, and also check out our apparel at www.uncommonwomen.net. And also check out our YouTube channel at Uncommon Women Podcast. And also you can email us if you need to contact us at uncommonwomenpodcast@gmail.com. And also next week on the 24th, we have a amazing guest speaker that's coming on. She's going to be sharing her testimony as well. And you know what, ladies and queens, stay uncommon.